Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we are going to play with this baby wipe case container. This is actually a container that I get from Jamie at Punch Place Plus. She sent me a couple of these to play with a long time ago, and as you know, I don't have little kids anymore, so this is not something that I would play with often. However, I saw one of the ladies on one of her Facebook group do something that I think is amazing. She used these roses that come on this like mesh. I'm gonna hold this so it will focus. But she used these roses that come on this mesh backing. You see this? And she hot glued them to these containers, and then she took this bling, I know we're familiar with this bling, and she made like a belt in the middle, and when she finished, that was the most gorgeous case. And here's what I like about these cases. You can do them so that they still open in this way, so you can pull the wipe out of the front, or because they're made where you can refill them, you can just open the case. I just opened it, wrong side. You can just open the case like this and put your own things in it. So you don't even have to use this for wet wipes. You can use this for anything. And I want to use it in my purse. I don't know what I'm gonna carry in it yet. I kind of think it'd be neat, like a little cosmetic case to put like powder and, cause it's kind of thick. I don't know, but, so I thought I'd play with it. Also, while we're at it, for Christmas, I got this glue gun. It is a Pro 100 high temp glue gun by AdTech. And it came with 2 free nozzles, which is a $5 value, it says right here on the case. And I'm really excited about these nozzles because there's a fine tip. This is a flat tip, so like a ribbon of hot glue, and then it came with the regular tip. And I'll show you the gun. This is the gun, and what I love about it is it sits so flat and so stable. Do you see this? And my mom got this for me. I'll find out how much she spent on it. I can't remember exactly, but I had mentioned that Harbor Freight had something I wanted, and she went to Harbor Freight and got this for me. Now, it has a lot of cool features, and I'm not ready to do a review on it yet. Here's why. I want to use it a little bit before I review it for you guys. So this will be the second time that I have used it, and I thought this would be a great project to try it on. So you'll see this one being used today, and then I'll do a review on it later if you want to see one. So let me know if you want to see a review on this hot glue gun. All right, let's get started. So, the first thing I'm going to do is glue down these guys. Now, this mesh is very, very wide, so I think I'll probably trim some of it off because I'm not going to need all of that mesh on the side. So let me measure how long of a piece I want. Thinking something like this. Let's see, it looks like I can stretch 2. So I'm going to cut it here. You might be wondering what this piece of ribbon is on my scissors. This is so I know these are my ribbon or fabric scissors. So I pretty much know, but it also lets my family know, hey, don't use these. So now I'm going to trim off some of this mesh that I just don't need. Just like so. Because I don't need all of that. Trim it kind of tight. So I trimmed that pretty close, and I'm just going to hot glue this down. But I think before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut enough pieces to cover the whole top with it. So that way I can cut it and trim it, and then we'll get back together. So I've cut several pieces of this, and I think this is going to be just enough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it where it kind of overhangs, and then I can always trim that off and then put a little trim around the edge when we get to it. So using my hot glue gun, I'm just going to run some glue. And I'm still getting used to this guy, so. And then I'm just going to stick this into the hot glue. Now this is a high melt glue, so you want to be careful if you're using high melt like this. It's best to use a low melt when you're using something really woven like this where the glue will come through. Just going to stick that on good. Okay, and then I'm going to use another piece. That was not quite long enough. I kind of went through and did some longer ones and some shorter ones. So let's put this one on. Tell you what I do like about this gun so far. You can see that glue smoke and it's hot, but I do like that it doesn't drip. I've had no drips, and I've used it twice. Like I said, this is the second little project I've done with it, and it does not drip, which is awesome. see, I think I cut these for this area because it starts to get a little thinner. I think I'll put that one there. You see how precise that glue is? It has a few strains here and there. I do notice that. And this piece, I'm going to push it up against because I want it really snug. Let me see how wide my trim is. This little trim piece will go right here like a belt. Isn't that cute? I think I could probably squeeze another piece over if I do it really snug. So let's do that. Can you imagine how fast you could put one of these together for a baby shower if you had them on hand? This is going to be really quick. And now I'm just going to flip it over and do the other side. Maybe I'll go ahead and put this piece down so I'll know where I'm working. I love that piece right there. Let's do it. Okay. Put a lot of glue because I want to make sure it stays. And that'll kind of feed up through the weave of that bling. This is so easy. Just cut that away. Then I'll come back and seal that down a little better. Now I'm just going to keep adding until I fill it up. So now I've got it all full of the pretty little roses, and I need to go back and trim this at the edges so that it won't hang off. So I'm just going to go around with my scissors and kind of give it a little haircut right at the edge. So what I did here was I took a piece of the ribbon that's the blingy ribbon that's kind of wide, and I cut 2 pieces away from that. And I love that about this ribbon, that you can do that. I call it ribbon, but I don't really know if that's what it is, but that's what I call it. So now what I'm going to do, and it may be difficult to see, let's see if I can open it and show you this way. I'm going to take this bling and I'm going to glue it right to the edge, and I'll hold this where you can see it in just a second. Right to the edge like that. So it'll just kind of clean up the edge and make it look nice and neat. And that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to start here. And you just want to make sure that this, my habit is to lay that gun down. You want to make sure that this lines up at the edge so that it has room to close. You don't want to overlap the edge. And this is really going to just clean up and hide any mistakes or any fuzzy parts that don't look so great. This is so easy to do. All I'm doing here is taking this ribbon, the trim that I cut away, and just running around with some glue around the edge. This fine tip makes this easy. Then I just slide this little ribbon into place, or this little trim into place, and that way I know it's where it's supposed to be. And it finishes off that edge so pretty. Now I'm going to close it down so I can get to the back side. And you want to make sure you don't glue this, your trim, over that little piece, because that way it'll have free motion to open and close. Now on this edge I ran out of bling just a little bit too soon, but it is no big deal because you can just butt this up to each other and it just will hide right where it needs to go. So now you can see I have the trim all the way around. That looks really good. It's a nice trim. Let me do it like this so you can see. I love that. Now what I'm going to do is on the bottom side, I don't want to use the roses back here because it'll be too puffy on the back side. So I'm going to use some fabric, and let me get that really quick. So I've taken some fabric and I've hot glued this one edge down because I wanted to see how I thought that would hold, and I think it does really good. Now I'm going to trim this away much closer when I get done and put some more trim around it. But for now, that's where we're starting, and I'm going to let that dry for just a second. And then I'm going to pull it across as snug as I can and do the other side. This is almost like upholstery. That's how I'm going to do it anyway. I've not seen anybody do one of these, so I'm just kind of feeling my way around. And put some hot glue down. And bring this over and press it in snug. Doesn't have to be like super tight, you just don't want any wrinkles. And I know this is probably way too many polka dots for some people, but I just really like it. Now I'm going to come and do the side. Just kind of doing the same thing, and then I'm going to deal with the corners. Do the other side. So you can see how smooth that covers. It does really good. Now I'm going to trim away this extra that I don't need for sure before I start on the corners. So I've trimmed it away pretty tight, pretty close, and I have this corner that's not glued down, and what I'm going to do is add some glue. Like so, and then I'm just going to smooth this into place as good as I can. Now there will be a few wrinkles, I'm sure, but I'll be able to cover them up with the trim when we go around. Now I want to show you right here, I cut that a little bit short, but that's okay because I'm going to cover that with the trim. Now I'm going to go back with my scissors and just trim all this out as close as I can get it. And you might even want to use some like really tiny trim scissors to get in there. Just make it really close. That's getting pretty good, but I'm going to try my little tiny scissors. Try these little guys. Okay, so I've covered the back in the polka dot paper, and I did two things. One, I trimmed it away with these little scissors as close as I could get it, and then I took my X-Acto blade and I ran it down just right at the edge to get the last little bit off, and now we're going to cover it with more bling. And I'm going to trim this, getting 2 strands off again just like I did. Just like I did for the top. Now you don't have to use bling again if you don't want it as blingy as mine's going to be. You could do anything you wanted. But I think this will be cute around those polka dots. Now, I don't know very many moms who would probably want to carry something this blingy. I would. But you can always do this in many different ways. You could do, you know, little boy themed or little girl themed. Or as I was playing with this, I kind of came up with an idea I think would be super neat. And that is, a lot of you know that I go to card parties where we make cards and things like that. And we bring some of our tools with us. Well, I think this will be perfect to put my little scissors like these in, and craft picks like this, which I'm going to use right here so I don't sling glue everywhere. And I think this will be perfect for all those tools like that. So when we get done, I'll show you. I think that's what I'm going to use it for, no joke. Because I don't like having my tools just kind of loose in my purse, especially if I don't have covers for them. It's not in my purse, but in the bag I take with me. So I think this will be super cool. Now, if I can't get it blingy enough, I have these little bling pieces that my aunt gave me at one of our card parties. And they are little chevron bling pieces. They've kind of gotten slipped around a little bit. But I'm thinking these might be cute in the middle of some of the roses. I'm going to put one in as a test. So here's a middle. Let's just slip it down in there and see what it looks like. You see how it just kind of blings out of there. I think that's cute. And it sticks pretty good. I'm shocked. I didn't think, they're very sticky on the back, but I'm just going to pick some of the roses and just kind of flatten out the centers. And if you want to, you can go in and add some glue. I just don't know if I'm going to yet. I'm going to see how this goes. Let's find another center of a rose. Good one. Now the last thing I'm going to do, because there are lots of hot glue strings everywhere, is I'm going to hit this with my heat tool. I'm going to hit this with my heat tool and kind of get those hot glue strings off. And that is it. Again, maybe too blingy for some, but I love it. And let me show you what I'm going to do with it. So we'll open it up, and when I go to my crops, I can put my tools in it. I think this is a great idea. I'm glad I had this idea because, like I said, I don't love these things just kind of rolling around. And I usually take, I'll show you, take a bone folder for sure. And I usually take at least a white pen and a glitter pen. And lately, I've been taking my Wink of Stellas because I love them. So there's a couple of those, and let's just see if it works. Perfect. So now I can take my tools with me to the crop, and all the ladies will be jealous. Probably not, because it's probably too blingy for them, but for me, I love it. I'm gonna have to make these for the girls. I think they'll really like these little guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed that little tutorial of how to use these white cases and turn them into something for your craft room. I think that is cool. All right, have a great one, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.